All right. So far, looks like a good turnout right now. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for making the time to be here today. So today we're hosting this webinar, How to Use AI to Boost Your Search Rankings on Google. I'm here with Paul from Outfitter Marketing Pros. Paul, thank you for making the time to be here with us today. Before I let you get started, I just wanted to kind of make a few announcements and chat a little bit about what's going on in our industry, our world. It's been a tough week. Um, Hurricane Helene did a lot of damage to a lot of big recreation areas. So a lot of our partners, our members in the Southeast really took a big hit. And there's a lot of strength in our community, a lot of resources flowing in. We're also hearing lots of positive stories. People are already focused on rebuilding. There's a lot of good coming out of it. There's a lot of good going, but there's a lot of work to be done. So, first and foremost, I want to thank those of you who are members. Your membership matters to them, it matters to us, and it's making a difference in helping them. It is our number one priority right now as an association to make sure that our members are making it through and that their businesses will thrive coming out of this. So we're doing a lot of work for that. So thank you for your support, members, sponsors. There's been so many people that have reached out to me and offers to help and offers to support. I will be able to take you up on more of those offers as we get going. I'm hearing from most of the outfitters that have been in that area. So we will continue to keep you updated. Please continue to offer if you have resources to help, or if you are looking for help or have damage or anything going on, please reach out to us. So thank you. Thank you to our membership and our support. Big, big stuff going on. We do have the upcoming conference that is going to be in Tennessee too. That'll be in Chattanooga. Hopefully, we will have more resources and things put together for this hurricane there. But otherwise, that will be our conference as usual. That information's all on the website. We'd love to have you join us there. That'll be December 10th through the 13th. Check out the website, get registered if you can. Just lots of gratitude for members today. So with that being said, we are going to continue on focusing on growing businesses and supporting each other. That's what Paul's here to do today. So I'm going to let you take over, Paul. Questions, if you have them, please type them in the Q&A or hold them to the end and we'll have the last 15 minutes or so. We'll turn microphones on and get you sorted to chat or comment or question or anything. So I'm gonna back out, disappear. Paul, you're up. Thank you.
Right. Well, Karen, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really excited to be here. Also, I can only see you and me. Is there any way that I can see people? Because I don't want to talk. I want to talk to people and not just myself and you. So, yeah, I'm super grateful to be here. I called Karen on Monday just to kind of talk about this. So I live in East Tennessee. So I live in a little town called Kingsport. Irwin is 20 minutes away. Actually, the Nolichucky River, my poster right here. It's my favorite river that I've kayaked, rafted on, and yeah, we're communities are hurting big time over here. And so I was just like, does it even make sense to do this? Like, how do we do this? And we kind of came together and said, yeah, there's still a lot of value in this. There's a lot of people that are wondering, one, how they can help and how we can, come together as a community, which I love this community of AO. I've been a member for 2 or 3 years now, and just super, super grateful for this community and being able to give back, which is why I'm here to try to give to you guys. So let me see, I still can't see anybody. Have no idea how to do that. Anyways, we'll figure it. Karen,
Yeah,
if you can figure it out.
you don't get to see people.
I don't get to see people.
No, it's just me and I'm gonna
Okay.
disappear. It's
Okay.
just you and your
Just
presentation.
me speaking. Okay. That's great.
If you need me, holler. I'm here.
Okay.
You
That's
can
great.
see me
So
eventually.
So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start talking about AI and SEO. All right. So I think I might be able to pull up the chat here, and nope, I can't see anything or anybody. So I'm just going to depend on you guys to interact with me, right? So when we think about SEO, this is a deep topic, right? There is so much information out there about SEO. How do we show up on page one of search of Google, Bing, Yahoo search engines? Because this is important, right? To be found organically. So I don't know if I can't see anybody, can't see the chat. So I wonder how many of you are actually doing SEO right now. How many of you have a strategy for showing up on page one of Google? If you're like most outfitters that I speak with, there's very little thought or strategy into that beyond what they can learn in the little bit of time they have behind a computer figuring these things out. Or maybe you have a team, an in-house team that's doing this for you. But by and large, most outfitters, they started their business to do what? Be outside and not behind a computer trying to figure out search algorithms for showing up online. So my hope today, especially in the last couple years with AI making this really big surge, is how do we bring these two things together? One fear that I think a lot of people had for a little while was, and Google's gonna, if we use AI, Google's gonna penalize us. They're gonna demote our website. This is a myth. So if you have heard that before, that Google penalizes you for having AI content on your site, it is not true. Google wants to see authentic content. And can we use AI to make authentic content? I'm here today to say that I think we can. And that's what this webinar is going to be about today, is how do we use AI to help boost our SEO? So kind of an overview of what this is going to be, right? We're doing an overview of this webinar right now. How has AI changed SEO? Why does that even matter? How does that help us? How can we lean into this? And then I'm going to give you three primary areas of how we're using AI at my agency to help our clients boost their SEO rankings. So keyword research is going to be a huge topic for this. Content creation using AI, and then using AI to optimize our on-page elements. So if you're good with that, I can't see you. Just give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to imagine that I see all of you giving me a thumbs up. Thumbs up, great. Glad to see that. We'll move into this right now. A little bit about me. Here's some pictures of me doing all the things I love. This picture was actually on the Nolichucky River in my raft there. I'm a big fisherman. I like climbing mountains. That's in Ecuador on Cotopaxi. But I started guiding in 2008 on the Arkansas River. Fast forward a couple years, 2010, buddy of mine on the Arkansas. We started a rafting outfitter in Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula of Michigan on the Menominee River. I started a nonprofit adventure organization in 2015, focused on getting young people outdoors to experience caving, climbing, hiking, all kinds of things, because I was a young person in this area and I took a vastly different path than experiencing all of the cool things outdoors that this area in the Southeast has to offer. Fast forward a little bit, 2020, started Outfitter Marketing Pros because I thought, man, how can I help my people, outfitters, of which I used to be an owner of those? How can I help them to really grow their businesses, to really dial in some marketing strategies to get more people coming and experiencing these outdoor adventures that so many of you are phenomenal at providing for your clients? So I'm married 13 years this month, 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a squirrel. Yes, you read that right. We have a squirrel. Her name's Nutmeg, and all of our animals are named after food because my wife likes to do that. So without further ado, we're going to dive into why you are all here today. AI and SEO. What is AI? If you're like me and you're a little bit older, you remember the 80s, early 90s, Terminator, right? This was a big thing. It's like, man, Terminator is this AI guy from the future, comes back and is trying to find John Connor. And I'll spare you the plot of the movies if you've never seen them. I don't want to ruin it either. But we have this idea of what AI is, or what we think it is, but really, what is it? It's just the use of computer systems to simulate human mental processes, such as interpreting and generating language. That's all it is, right? Pretty straightforward. Pretty simple, even though the systems are really complex. It's a pretty simple idea of what AI can be and what it can do and how it can help us. So here's some examples of that, right? We typically, when we think AI, maybe what's your first thought? Is it ChatGPT? Is it search algorithms? Maybe you have an idea of what you think AI is, but I think there's a lot of other implications and uses for AI, maybe that we're just not sure of, right? So chatbots, smart assistants, ChatGPT, Claude, search algorithms, smart cars, navigation apps, Siri, facial recognition. All of these things are examples of artificial intelligence. And so, how do we use artificial intelligence, these language models, these generational language models, to help elevate our businesses to get in front of our target audience at the right time, at the right place? So why does that even matter? Why does SEO matter, right? I love statistics. I'm a big numbers guy. And there were some statistics that I want to share with you. One organization called Backlinko, it's a big SEO website, tons of good information. They said that less than 1% of searchers ever click on the second page of Google, right? I've often heard this is the best place to hide a dead body, right? Nobody ever goes to page 2 of Google. And so showing up on page 1, and even furthermore, used to showing up anywhere on page 1 was good, and it still is. But if we're not showing up in the top 4 spaces of Google, we're missing out on 75% of search engine traffic. 75% click in the top 4 results of Google, and it drops off a whole lot after that, who actually goes down to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And HubSpot, many of you may have heard of that, they actually said that the top traffic source for all websites is organic search. So these statistics like this tell us that if we're not showing up on page 1, we might as well just be invisible. Nobody can see us. Nobody can find us. And if you're like I was when I was running my rafting business and my adventure organization, I wanted people to find me. I had this amazing thing that I wanted to share with people, and I just needed them to come find it. And if they could find me, then I could deliver this amazing experience, meaningful experience that would change their lives and have all of these cool memories forever. So why does it matter? Organic traffic leads to more bookings without relying on paid advertisements, right? How many of you love spending ad dollars on Google? I don't. I don't love spending ad dollars if I don't have to. If I can be found organically, that's my number one priority. And what I tell all my clients is SEO should be your marketing strategy foundation. If you're not working on that to be your foundation of then which you can build up paid advertisements, then as soon as you turn the ad dollars off, people can't find you anymore. So this is a huge, huge way to generate more bookings without relying on advertising dollars. High-ranking SEO puts your business in front of people that are actively looking for your services. How many of you have maybe ever run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and you get really frustrated because, man, there's just not, people aren't booking, people aren't responding to these ads. Well, Facebook is a cold audience, and you're having to, one, make them aware of you first, and then try to talk them into, with strategic marketing, why you're the best fit for their need of adventure. SEO is not like that. People are actively searching online for what you have to offer. And local SEO, obviously, when people are around in vicinity of where you're at, man, showing up in that map pack, those 3 results in the map pack is really important. People will click to call right from there. So showing up, SEO should be a radically huge part of your strategy of getting in front of more people that actively want what you have to offer. And so today I told you we're going to look at 3 things that these are practical uses for how we can implement AI in our SEO strategies: keyword research, content creation, and technical on-page optimization. Now, I realize a lot of this stuff could almost seem like Spanish for some people because SEO is such a deep topic and there's tons of language within SEO that I'm going to try not to use today to make it really simple for everyone, because I don't know your experience with SEO. And I want to make it really easily uh, understandable for all of you, no matter what your level of understanding might be for SEO. So, keyword research. This is foundational. I speak to so many outfitters that say, "Oh, I rank on page one of Google." And I say, "Okay, great. How many people are searching for what you're ranking number one for?" So I don't know. I don't know. And then I'll do some research and I'll say, "Hey, there's 0 searches a month for what you're ranking number one for." So is it valuable if we can show up in position one if there's no searches for that? Well, no, absolutely not. So having intentional keyword research where you know what people are looking for, and you can optimize your page through content creation and on-page optimization, this is really going to light a spark under your rankings increasing and getting up there towards page one of Google. As far as the content creation goes, Google in the last year and a half, 2 years, they used to have three core pillars for how they would rank a website, and they called it the EAT principles, and it stood for expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. There's a myriad of things that go into how they evaluate that. But in the last year and a half, 2 years, they added another E in front of their EAT principles. So now it's experience, expertise, authority, trustworthiness. Why did they add experience to this? Well, Google values their customers. They want to make sure that the websites that they are positioning on page one of Google is valuable, right? That it provides a good experience for them. Many of you might have heard of the helpful content update. So many websites got demoted because Google didn't deem that their content was helpful or provided a good, helpful experience for their clientele, their searchers on their platform. So I want to give you these three areas because what I've found is if we can dial in our keyword research, we know what people are looking for. We can write helpful content to increase and provide a good experience for our website visitors. And we can dial in some of the back end optimization of our actual website for search. These are the three kind of categories that really help to elevate your search ranking. So we will dive into this first one here, AI powered keyword research. So how can this help, right? Many of you probably have a good understanding of, hey, we provide rafting on the Arkansas River. So rafting Arkansas River, that's a good keyword for you to use, right? But what other kind of keywords can we capitalize on that are related to your main service offerings? And this is where AI can come in and help us to identify how this works. And it's not just ChatGPT or things like that that can help us. It's all kinds of AI powered softwares out there as well. One really important piece, and I want you to hear this. If you hear anything about keyword research right now, I want you to hear this. You really need to know and understand the searcher's intent behind this keyword. So searcher intent is really important. There's 4 categories of search intent: commercial, informational, navigational, and oh gosh, I forgot the fourth one. I think it's on my next slide, but I'll tell you. So if we can understand the intent behind what somebody's searching for, and Google and these softwares will let us know what that is, we can optimize our pages to reflect that intent. Because if somebody's searching purely out of they want to be educated or informed about something, and all our landing page is doing is trying to sell them into a trip, Google says that's not helpful at all. That's not what they're looking for. So if we can bring those things together and optimize them for the intent, then you're going to see much better results, not just in your rankings, but even in conversions happening on that actual page. And so some AI tools that help with this are things like Search Atlas, Ahrefs, SEMrush. These are really phenomenal tools that you can use to track your keywords, really develop and refine your SEO strategy, and look for search trends and even spy on your competitors and see what they're doing and maybe analyze some keyword gaps that you might have with those that are ranking higher than you and start coming up with a strategy to fix that, to change that. You can discover long tail keywords. So SEMrush did this study, and I think it was 2022, and they said that long tail keywords make up the vast majority of all of Google searches. So people aren't just looking for Colorado rafting. They're looking for where is the best place to go rafting in Colorado. That is a long tail keyword, and that is really intentional search that we could optimize for. It sounds like a great blog post to write, right? So understanding these keywords, AI can help us do that. It can help us save time and deliver insights faster than we could if we were just manually researching these keywords in the first place. And so I have a example here. This is a screenshot of Search Atlas, and I just typed in Colorado whitewater rafting. And in this keyword magic tool, you can see here all of these results. It starts generating all of these related keywords based on what I typed in, right? And I think now this, you do have to pay for this software. I think because Google has Google Keyword Planner, and it's not as, I don't think, efficient as some of these paid softwares, but you can do the job. You can do keyword research with the tool that Google provides you, Google Keyword Planner, and gives you all kinds of ideas that you can start optimizing your site for, writing content for, and showing up higher in those search results. Another important part of this is finding out the monthly search volume. These tools will allow you to see how many people are looking for this even. Again, because if you're showing up for words that nobody's looking for, it doesn't work for you. Your website should be an asset. It should be a money-making asset and not just a pretty place for people to go and learn more about your website, right? It should be something that generates revenue for you. And in my experience, the vast amount of outfitters that I've worked with didn't have their website doing that for them. So these tools can really help you turn your website into a revenue generating asset. So here's the keyword intent again: navigational, commercial, transactional, or informational. So transactional and commercial are pretty well related, right? Those searchers are looking to purchase something. They're looking to buy something, to spend money. Navigational is where they're just looking to go to a certain website. It's kind of like informational, but they're looking for something really specific to where they can navigate to. Informational, they're just looking for you to answer a question, right? They're looking for content that can answer a question that they have. What do trout eat in the Southeast in October? What kind of fly should I use? That's very informational. So if we can write content for these informational keywords and provide an answer for that, that heightens your trustworthiness, expertise, and your authoritativeness on a topic, which then elevates your search rankings in Google's eyes. So when it comes to keyword research, know what you're looking for, know what people are looking for, and know their intent behind that. If you can do those two things, know what people are looking for, understand their intent behind it, you are much likelier to succeed in optimizing your website for search and ranking high on page one. The second category here, again, thumbs up if you're still with me, if you're tracking along keyword research. Now it's something that you're thinking about. Okay, how can I dive in and do some of this? Give me a thumbs up if you're still feeling good for that. Got thumbs up. Karen's giving me thumbs up. Thanks for the feedback, Karen. I appreciate it. This moves us into the content creation piece, right? Because if we don't know what people are searching for, how can we write content to meet that? So this is one of my favorite things, actually, in content creation for these keywords and using AI to do so. So I've been running my agency since, so it's been 4 years since we've done this, and AI content creation has been a big part of what we do. Now, I want to say this as well. If you're just going to ChatGPT and you're just saying, write a blog post about rafting in Colorado, that's not going to generate good results. Okay. What is going to generate good results is how you inform ChatGPT who it is and how to think and how to speak. And then when we ask it to write content, it produces a much better output than if we just say, hey, write a blog about this. Excuse me. So as we go into content creation, again, these keyword intents are really, really important. So on everyone's website, you have your service pages or your trip pages, right? So hey, here's our half-day trip, Browns Canyon. Here's a full day trip in Royal Gorge, whatever that might be. These are your money pages, right? These are very optimized for high transactional commercial intent. They should be this way. This call to action should be book now, book now, book now, right? And these are going to be these main staple service money pages that are driving and meant to produce revenue on our website. But then we have two other pieces of content that are equally as important, but not so much geared toward transactional intent or commercial intent. So for these, we call these pillar content and cluster content. So I'm going to give you an example of what this would look like. So let's say you're a fly fishing outfitter on the Toccoa River in Georgia. So you have a Toccoa River money page, service page that talks about your guide trips, your pricing, half day, full day, things like that. Well, we need to start writing some content in our blogs that support this service. So in your blog, one piece of pillar content that you could have for your Toccoa River money page would be the ultimate guide to fly fishing the Toccoa River, right? And this is a comprehensive article that you write where you answer every question about fly fishing on the Toccoa River that there is. When do I go? Where do I go? What flies do I use? Where can I eat when I'm not fishing? Where do I stay? It's a very comprehensive article that when you're typing in, if you're interested in, Toccoa River fly fishing, and you link that back to your money page, now all of a sudden you have a connection between this pillar content and your money page. Google loves when things are connected on a website. It loves when things are linked together and they all speak to each other and provide a good user experience for someone that is reading this article that's interested in fly fishing the Toccoa River. They click on your link, go to your money page. Oh, yeah, I should book a trip with these guys. And outside of this pillar content, you really only need one kind of piece of pillar content for each of these money pages. And think of it this way. You have your money page here. You have your piece of pillar content here. Then around this piece of pillar content, you can write what is called cluster content. So this is smaller articles, less comprehensive. Maybe you're aiming to answer one question. So in your pillar content, you answered a bunch of questions, but in a cluster content article, you can say the best flies for the Toccoa River. And guess where it links back to? To your pillar content. And where's that link to? Back to the money page. All of these things are working together to heighten your experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness in the eyes of Google. So some tools that we use to do this are ChatGPT, Claude, and a software called OnPage.ai. And I have a cool video to show you what OnPage AI can do in this process. So again, yeah, this is just kind of showing you that hierarchy that we talked about, those money pages, that pillar content, and that cluster content, and what that does. So in this, it links all of these things together, because when we're writing content, what I found most outfitters do and how they use a blog is they use a blog kind of like a place to just share a thought of theirs or an idea of theirs. And it's not streamlined for or optimized for keyword research. It's just, hey, here's some thoughts on something that I had in my head, right? But if we're not writing blog articles with keyword research in mind and with user experience and search engine optimization in mind, then it's really not doing anything for you. It's not going to be an asset for you that drives traffic to your website. So, with that, as we think about these ideas of creating this content, right? And generating content, how do we use AI to do that? This is one of my kind of the tools in my tool belt of how I use ChatGPT to do this, right? So I use ChatGPT to, one, help me analyze what would be the pillar content on my website or on a website. What are the things that people are searching for that I need to have pillar content around? And then once I have established a strategy for the pillar content articles, I ask ChatGPT, hey, what are some good cluster content ideas for each of these topics, each of these ideas? ChatGPT spits it out. And once I have a framework of topics that I need to write about, then I can use ChatGPT to write it. And so that's the next thing that I want to show you. What does that look like to have ChatGPT write these sorts of things, right? So here, I don't know if that's playing automatically. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. But here in ChatGPT, I'm going to give you an example of a prompt that I give. Pretend you are an expert at creating SEO-rich blog content for fishing charter companies, and you're an expert fly fishing guide with over 30 years of experience. So I just told ChatGPT who it is. And if you remember, what is AI? It's a generative language model using the entire internet to scour and search for ideas and themes and topics to inform how it's going to write and what it's going to output. So if I can inform it of who it is, you're going to get a much better answer than you would just saying, write a blog content about this. So I've told it who it is. And I say, you want to create a blog titled The Best Fly Fishing Spots on the South Holston River. It should be aligned with Google's EEAT principles and have a good H2 and H3 structure and be comprehensive. And so as I type this in here, you can see pretty quickly that it's going to, it's not even, here we go. Move this out of the way. You're just going to have to deal with the little loading bar here. I tell it, say, write a blog outline for this article. So it's going to think. It's going to take 2 seconds, and then boom, it generates an entire blog outline all about this pillar content article. Now, what I do from here is, let's see if I can go back and see some of these sections here. So right here, you see fly selection, techniques specific to the South Holston River, local regulations and permits. What I'll typically do is I will take a section at a time and I will say, hey, write 250 words on this section. And then it'll output that section of my blog article. And once I do that, and I have everything in a Word document, I have another tool in the last section of this, which is our on-page portion, that can help me identify how to structure it against the top 3 currently ranking websites for the keyword that I'm trying to go after. So thumbs up. Are you guys tracking? We've at this point, we've talked about how do we identify keywords that we want to write about? How do we figure out a content structure around how we want to play this into our websites and optimize our website for this? And the last part, which is going to be one of the most important parts, is how do we optimize our one page of our website, whether it's a blog article or a money page, whatever, for this keyword. So technical on-page optimization, don't let the technical part scare you. It's not as technical as you might think. But there are a few areas that Google needs to see the keyword that you're optimizing for. And this is one of the biggest things that I see outfitter websites lacking. They don't know or they don't have a strategy around optimizing their on-page areas for keywords. So what are on-page elements? Typically, we have meta tags, which would be the title of your web page, the description of your web page, the H1, H2, H3 headers in your actual content, and then in the images themselves. So images themselves have some alt text that we can use to plug in our keywords. Most users don't see this if they're using some kind of accessibility feature or software because they have some kind of accessibility issues where they can't see, they can't hear as well. Then that's where the alt text comes into play. And so our on-page optimization ensures that your content is structured for both users and search engines. That's really important. We don't want to just structure our websites for search engines. If we do that, then one, they're actually going to demote our rankings because they realize this. Used to, back in the day, you could just plug in 100 keywords in the footer of a page and match the text color to the background color where people couldn't see it, but search engines could. That's called keyword stuffing. I hope you're not doing that still, because if you are, you're definitely getting demoted. Google penalizes websites for that big time these days. So how do we structure our pages, users, and search engines? And some of these tools that I'm going to show you here in a second help us to streamline that process so you're not having to waste time on doing this, but you're actually going to get a really, really valuable and really amazing structure that AI outputs for you and gives you some direction in. So when we think about this, again, those meta tags often act like a preview for your content, right? So when you go to Google and you type in Colorado rafting, then you see the results that come up. You see the title and the description of those pages. Sometimes when they're left blank, Google will just pull a snippet out of your content to put there. And it could be jumbled. It could not be really matching the searcher's intent. And so when we can go in and be strategic about creating titles and descriptions for people that are going to see this, then people are going to be much likelier to click through to our actual web page and spend time there. So meta titles and descriptions are really just helping people kind of get a preview of what your website is, if I can say that. Your titles, so write this down if you're note takers. I'm a note taker. If you're taking notes, this is really important. I see a lot of people that just write tons of information in a title and a description. Your title should be between 150 and 160 characters for your description should be between 150 and 160 characters for that. That's going to allow you to have a complete description that doesn't get cut off and people can read a full description that prompts them to go to your page. Your title should be between 50 and 60 characters. Okay. What we don't want to do is put all kinds of stuff into our title or description and it gets cut off. Nobody can even see it anyway. When we move past the title and the description and we're actually on the page, what we can see reading through the content, you really need to think about how you're utilizing headers. So headers are H1, H2, H3. Some will even go down to like H6. But think about when you're writing a paragraph. If you were in school and you had to write papers for your English class and you were given a topic, when you have the title of your paper, then you have different sections in this paper, right? And each of those sections are corresponding to the main topic. So if we think of these different sections, these would be, the title of those would be an H2. Hear me on this. You should only have one H1 title on every page of your website. You should only have one H1 title on each page. And the H1 title should be the main keyword that you're going after. It should include it in there. Your H2 section headers should describe the main content. And if you need to have an H3 header, it should describe the H2 content. So do you see how that kind of works? How you have the main H1, H2, H3. It's very simple. You just want to structure it in a way that helps users navigate it easily. But when we structure it this way, it doesn't help just users navigate your content. It helps search engines navigate your content and understand the main topics of your page, and therefore improves your chances of ranking higher. And one last place for your keywords here and for your on-page structure is your alt text. So I think yeah. So here's some examples, right, of the meta tag. So this is the title. Here's your description, and in your text. So I took a snippet of a blog article that I wrote here for your alt text. So this is an image that I have in my blog article, and so when you load this image in, you can describe in the alt text what it is. This is another phenomenal place for you to put your keyword. Users can't see it. Most users can't see it. Some will hear it, or their accessibility software will let them know what this image says or is showing. But that's where we want to put these keywords in headers, titles, descriptions, and alt text. That is going to radically, radically, radically help your pages get higher in the search rankings. I've seen clients before that we've worked with that were already ranking for some good keywords, but their pages weren't optimized for that. And by us simply optimizing their title, description, headers, and alt text, we were able to see them move from page 2 to page 1 by just simply doing that alone. So this is really important stuff for you to take into consideration when you do these things. And also, your on-page content structure is important to have a good, friendly layout that's mobile optimized. We've heard this for years now. If your website looks really good on a desktop, but it looks like garbage on a cell phone, you're gonna lose um, you're going to lose conversions, and you're going to lose rankings because Google prioritizes mobile optimized websites. Over 90% of people are searching on their phone. Very few people are searching on a desktop, and even fewer people are searching on a tablet these days. So if you're going to optimize your website, do it mobile first, then desktop, and then do tablets later. There's like 3% of people looking for tablets. So the reason this is all important is search engines prioritize well-structured content with clearly defined topics, really good structure and layout. And when we do that, it's gonna help give the user a more clear and logical flow, and a search engine a clear and logical flow for identifying what this content is about, what this page is about, therefore improving those rankings. So this last slide here I want to show you is this on-page AI tool that I utilize. So you plug in a keyword, and if you've got a article about this or a website about this already, or a page about this already, you plug it in and hit submit. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull up the top 3 ranking websites for that keyword that you typed in. And then it's going to pull yours up and give you some ideas of, hey, where do you stand? How is your content optimized versus the top 3 ranking sites on this? It's going to give you some insights as keyword variations that you should use, related keywords, specific category keywords. It's going to let you look at your competitors and see, what relevant words are they using that I'm not. It'll even give you swipeable content that it'll say, hey, you should write content about this in order to be competitive about this. And then it's going to give you some internal linking opportunities. Hey, we noticed you have these pages on your website as well. You should link between these two. So it literally tells you how to do it. It really could remove your need for people like me to do this for you. And as you send this into an editor, all of these word banks here tell you, hey, here's the main keywords that all of these people used. And as you put that keyword in your content, it turns green. And the idea here, and you don't see it, but there's an optimization score of 0 out of 100. And I optimized all of our content to be 100. 100 means it's viable for top of page 1 ranking. So as we think about these things, now we have keyword research. We know how to create content, and we know how to optimize that content on our page so that it is very competitive for us to show up on page one of Google. And to show you that, hey, this isn't just theory, that this works, I wanted to show you some results of what this has done for clients of ours. So we started working with somebody in August of 2022. They had one keyword ranking on page one of Google. They had about, let's see, this is 2022. So they had like 5 people coming to their website organically. That's this purple line down here. And fast forward to September of this past year, they are ranking for 75 keywords on page one. And in August, they had over 1,000 people organically come to their website. And this is all using AI to write content. Now, there's a myriad of other things that we do, linking, backlinks, all of those things, but this is a big part of it. Okay. Another client started working with them in June of 2022, and they had about 150 organic traffic coming to their site and 10 keywords on page one. Now they have 140, 150 keywords on page one, and we're upwards of 800 to 1,000 people a month coming to their site organically. And then this last one was, we started working in June of 2023. He had about 20 people coming to his site. And just last month, he had over 500. And he's got over 50 keyword rankings on page one, where he started with 6. So this stuff works if you just do it, right? And so what I wanted to do today is I have a bunch of resources for you guys. Okay. Have the ultimate internet marketing checklist, a step-by-step guide for ranking your content, the ultimate ChatGPT prompt sheet to hack your SEO, and the SOP for optimizing your website architecture for EAT compliance. And so as I've put all these things together, these are in courses that I've offered and things like that. It's a $1,200 value for these things. And I talked to Karen about this before I was going to make you this offer that you couldn't refuse today. And you guys get all of this stuff today for the low price of free 90 free. So I want to give that to you guys. It's all yours. I joked with that. Like, this is yours. I love this AO community. I love what you guys are doing. And I want you to use this because I think it's radically going to help you take your SEO and your rankings and using AI to the next level. How you get that? Text the phrase AO member to that phone number right there, and it's going to shoot you the Google Drive file. It's not even gated content. I don't even ask for your name or your email or anything. You just get this. Okay. So I guess, Karen, I'm gonna turn it back over to you for maybe Q&As that were asked during, or if you just have questions now that you want to ask, I would love to answer those. So I'll leave this up for a little bit for you guys to be able to see and have.
That's great. Paul, thank you. That's really great information. Really good stuff. The questions are like starting to come in through the chat, but the first one I got was like 4 minutes ago, and Amy asked what program you're using right now, like what program you were tracking all those results on.
So I use Search Atlas. So it's like SEMrush, but it's much more affordable. So Search Atlas is it's very much like SEMrush or Ahrefs, things like that. And I'll see if I can, you just Google Search Atlas, you'll find it. But
Okay.
it's pretty phenomenal in me, one, tracking keyword rankings and tracking just our movement in that, but even identifying backlink audits and identifying keyword cannibalization and all of these, other myriad of things that we have to take into consideration. It's a really phenomenal tool for sure. So Search Atlas, you should definitely use it.
Okay. And I think that's the biggest question coming in, because what is the software? Does on-page optimization ranking, what is it called?
Yep. So the one that I just got through showing you that gives you all of that information about keywords to use, things like that, it's called on-page.ai. And I think that one's like, I think it's like $130 a month or something like that. But it is well worth it. So I highly encourage you to use that. I use it for all of our content.
So it's onpage.ai.
Yeah. On-page.ai.
Okay. Um, I'm also curious what that last video program was.
So, yep, this one right here. This is on Page AI. This
Okay.
software right here. Yep.
And can I see the example again for how you question Chat GPT to create pillar content?
Yes, it doesn't show it great, but if you text that number, it's in my complete SOP for how to write content that ranks. So you get that as a part of the document or the resources here that I give you. But I will go back here
Sweet.
and
Okay.
show you if it'll be clear. Yep. So right there, pretend you're an expert at creating SEO-rich blog content for fishing charter companies, and you're an expert fishing guide with over 30 years of experience. You want to create a blog titled The Best Fly Fishing Spots on the South Holston River. It should be aligned with Google's EEAT principles and have a good H2 and H3 structure and be comprehensive in nature. Write a blog outline for this article. And then in the same chat GPT kind of window there, I will start writing that content. I'll do a section at a time. And using my on-page AI software, it will even tell you, hey, most of these articles that are ranking top 3 right now, they're about 1,500 words long. So I will think, okay, I've got 7 sections. And if they're 1,500 words long, I just need to write more content than that. So I will say, write 250 words of content for this section. And then by the time I get through with that, I'll have more content and more well optimized content because of what the AI has given me to do. I hope that was helpful. That felt like a lot to say, but hopefully
I
that was
think
helpful.
all of this feels like a lot, but I also
It
think
is.
it's all super helpful. And I do appreciate that you are putting it in terms that are easier to understand. Um, I have another question for you. Are you finding any value in utilizing custom created GPTs for this kind of content creation?
I'm so glad that you asked that. I actually do have custom GPTs that I make for this. One is called Fishing Guide AI. And I tried, and I still try to do this, not as much now because my custom GPTs do a pretty good job. But early on, when the custom GPT feature came out, I would create custom GPTs for each client. And I would say, hey, give me content that you've written. Give me things that you've written about, talked about in the past. And I would plug it into these custom GPTs, and that would inform the custom GPT how to write like my client, because that's always been a big issue for clients, some clients that actually yeah, we won't talk about that now, but some clients are like, this feels really disingenuous for you to write content and put my name on it. I'm like, yeah, because they're like, it doesn't sound like me. I'm like, well, because it's not you, it's me, and I can't be you. So we tried to mitigate that by plugging in content they've written so that the AI could learn their style, learn how they spoke and what they would typically say, and it would create better content more suited to their voice and their brand.
That's awesome. Um, how does an outfitter with little to no on-staff expertise in digital marketing seek and retain outside contractors to bring that talent to our organization? So, talking about strategy, plan, website design, architecture, SEO, all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that I've seen a lot of times when I come to work with clients that have already maybe even, sought outside help, a lot of times they're just finding local help, right? That the marketing agency in their town that they'll utilize. And what I would say is that while they still understand how to do some of these things, and you all know this better than anyone, the language that we speak and that our ideal client and target audience speak is very different than what plumbing businesses speak or things like that. So I would say if you're looking for agency help, I would look for someone that specializes in your niche, right? So, and I'm not saying that to like say, hey, talk to Outfitter Marketing Pros. There's tons of other agencies out there. I know several that are in AO here that are focused on serving this industry. So my number one thing would be find an agency that specializes in your industry. And one, then look and talk to them, talk to clients, ask for referrals. and have a good relationship connection with that person. Because for us, we don't want to just be the means to an end. We want to be a valuable partner in our clients' lives. So just more than, yeah, we do SEO, we do Google ads, all that. We want to come alongside of you and help you have a clearer picture of what you need for your business to be successful. Maybe not even just in marketing, but are there systems and processes that you need to figure out to be more efficient in how you deliver your services and things like that? So that would be my top two pieces of advice. Find someone that specializes in your industry. See if you can trust them, right? Build that relationship with them. If you have a good relationship, know that they do produce good results. But look for someone that can be a partner and not just, means to an end.
That's great. That's great advice. There's a handful of great people in this industry as well. Um,
100%.
but I also wonder too, Aaron, if you're not talking a little bit about like content creators too. I know because you said digital marketing. I'm not sure if that's always a hot topic too, and getting people to do a little here and there,
Yeah.
especially with socials. So
Yeah. And for
that
freelancers, I mean, that's a good thing with freelancers too. Like if you know that you need content writing and if you're looking for like freelance content writers, I would make sure that they have a good understanding of SEO first. And so don't just hire, your niece or nephew that says, yeah, went to college for writing. If they don't understand how to write the content, then it's not going to be as valuable for you. So yeah, that you can use freelancers for sure, but just do your due diligence in making sure that they have a good understanding of the industry language and how to write content that's going to rank for you.
huge question. Are you exhibiting at the America Outdoor Show in
I am
Chattanooga in
exhibiting.
December?
I am. It's my first year. Super excited about it. I don't even remember what my booth number is. I don't, we'll find it out. It's on the website somewhere. But yes, I will be there. Um, yeah, be there to answer questions and have my
Plenty of
ticket
time
for
to
the
chat.
after party as well. So looking forward to hanging out with you guys and doing all that stuff.
Okay, another question here. What's the cost range per month for SEO services, and what should a small business be spending?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. That's actually a question that I ask a lot of people that are like, "Hey, we want help." So the Small Business Administration, industry wide, says that a small business under $1 million in revenue a year should allocate somewhere between 7 to 10% of their gross revenue for marketing. That's both print and digital. So that's their guidelines. I don't see many people spending 7 to 10% of their gross revenue on that. But typically, what I found is people that are thinking about marketing, they're spending somewhere around 5% to 7. And so for us, it's very different, I think, across industries and agencies. Some agencies won't talk to you for less than $2,000 a month for SEO. Some are less, some are more. So it really just depends on the agency. I'll tell you, our base package is SEO. That's what we do, and we charge $600 a month for it. So that's where we start out.
Awesome. Thank you. That's all the questions we have typed in right now. I want to be mindful of everyone's
For
time.
sure.
Paul, this was an amazing presentation. We thank you. We look forward to continuing these conversations in the future, especially at the conference. If those of you who will be there can make sure they find the booth and get together and spend a little time, that'd be great. And Paul, you and I will talk before then. So
Yeah, absolutely.
any other questions, you will receive a follow-up email. We'll get you Paul's information. Please text the number to get all of that
Yeah.
information direct from him too.
And if you had more questions that weren't answered today, you can text that same number and text your question there, and we can answer those there for sure.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for spending the time with us. Thanks for membership and support. We are grateful for you all. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you guys.